हॅलो हॅलो, आवाज येतोय का? हॅलो, आवाज येतोय का?
हा
येतोय.
ओके
आवाज.
ओके, ठीक
हा
आहे
येतोय.
ठीक आहे. तुमचे मोबाईल म्यूट करून ठेवा. ओके. So, in the last week, we are discussed about the practical work. What is the syllabus of the practical and how practical examination is conducted? What is the structure of the exam? What is the weightage for the practical work? All these things which are discussed in the last period. Today, we study about the how to perform actual experiment. In actual experiment, now in your syllabus, there are 24 experiments. I have told you, in all there are 24 experiments. In physics, in all there are 24 experiments, and these experiments are divided into two groups, group 1 and group 2. In each group there are 12 experiments. In each group there are 12 experiments, and these experiments, they are belongs to the first group, which belongs to general physics, and the group second, that belongs to electricity, magnetism, electronics, optics. Means the group second belongs to electricity, magnetism, electronics, and optics, and group one is of general physics. Now, in our syllabus, at least 10 experiments we have to complete. Although they are given 12, but out of these 12, at least 10 experiments we have to complete. If we complete all the 12 experiments, it's very good. But at least we have to complete 10 experiments. Now, how to perform the experimental work online? Online experiment. How to do it? For that, I will tell you one experiment, and in that experiment, it's a procedure how the experiment is conducted. Now, in your syllabus, there is one experiment, and that experiment, which is belongs to general physics, group number 1, and that experiment is having the name viscosity. Viscosity of a given liquid by Stokes method. Stokes method. Now there is experiment. What is that experiment? The experiment is viscosity. The viscosity of a given liquid can be determined by various methods are there. There are different methods which are useful to determine the viscosity, but here we will use Stokes method. Stokes method, which you are studied in the 12th standard. What is the Stokes method? Now you know that this viscosity, that is the property of liquid or gases. It is the property of liquid or gases. That is fluids. It is the property of fluids. Viscosity is the property of fluids. And this viscosity, which is the property of fluids, by virtue of which it opposes the relative motion between its adjacent layers. Means when the liquid is flowing, this is the XY plane, and if the liquid is flowing from left to right, and that liquid which is flowing is arranged in different layers. There are different layers. A, B, C, these are layers. And these layers which are having different velocities. The velocity of the layer C is greater than velocity of layer B. Velocity of B is greater than velocity of A. It means the velocity of the liquid layer increases with increasing distance from the surface. So there exists a velocity gradient. There exists a velocity gradient along the y-axis. Velocity gradient is there. This velocity gradient is a change of velocity with distance. Change of velocity with distance. Now, this velocity, the layers which are moving with different velocities, there exists one kind of force. That force which we call as a viscous force. Viscous force. Viscous force, this force which arises due to the relative motion between the adjacent layers. Whenever the layers are moving, the upper layer is moving faster than the lower layer. So in between these two layers, there exists one kind of force. And this force, which is called a viscous force or viscous drag. And this viscous force is always acting in opposite direction to the motion of the liquid. If the liquid is flowing from left to right, then that viscous force will act from right to left. Hence, the direction of the viscous force is always opposite to the direction of motion of the liquid. Now, this viscous force, which is given by zeta A divided by dx dy. Here, neta is the coefficient of viscosity. A is the area of the liquid layer. dv by dx is the velocity gradient. Velocity gradient. Now, from this equation, this coefficient of viscosity, we have to obtain the coefficient of viscosity of a given liquid. Then, how that can be defined? Here we will define the coefficient of viscosity. First, we will define it. If A is equal to 1 unit, dv by dx is also 1 unit. Then the viscous force is equal to viscosity, coefficient of viscosity. From this, we can define the coefficient of viscosity, that the coefficient of viscosity is equal to the viscous force. F is the viscous force acting on a liquid layer of unit area. Unit area, in order to maintain unit velocity gradient. Unit velocity gradient. I will repeat this definition. The coefficient of viscosity of a given liquid is defined as, it is the viscous force. Viscous force acting on a liquid layer of unit area. Acting on a liquid layer of unit area in order to maintain unit velocity gradient. Unit velocity gradient. Now, this is the definition of coefficient of viscosity. Coefficient of viscosity. So, the units of coefficient of viscosity. Here, the coefficient of viscosity is given by. Therefore, neta is equal to here upon A dv by dx. Force is nothing but it is mass into acceleration upon area, which is velocity. Velocity upon dx. Dx is the distance, velocity upon distance. Then mass into acceleration upon area into velocity, distance, time to 1 upon distance. Distance. Now we can cancel this distance with this distance. Okay. Then we are having mass into acceleration upon area upon time. Area upon time. We can take time here at the numerator. Then this equation can be written as mass into time upon area into acceleration is velocity upon time. Acceleration is velocity upon time. Again, it can be written as mass time upon area into velocity is distance upon time into 1 upon time. 1 upon time. Now, in this equation, we can cancel this time with this time. Then mass into distance upon time. Now here is area. Area is nothing but distance square into distance upon this time. Here distance upon square of distance, we can cancel one of them, and it will be mass upon distance into time. From this equation, we can have the units of coefficient of viscosity. Units. How we can obtain the units? The units are given by SI unit. In SI system, mass is measured in kilogram. Distance, that is meter, and time is second. Yes, kilogram per meter second. It is the SI unit of viscosity. SI unit of viscosity. Then CGS unit. Kilogram in CGS gram. Meter, that is centimeter. Gram per centimeter second. This is the CGS unit of viscosity. It is also called as poise. CGS unit of viscosity is also called as a poise. It is also called as a poise. So these are the units of viscosity. Then we can have the dimensions of viscosity. Dimensions. Dimensions L, M, T. Here, gram is mass. Means we can have here M, L, T. Mass is 1. Centimeter, that is distance. Distance is -1. Time is also -1. Because centimeter and time, that is distance and time are at the denominator. So their dimensions will be -1, -1. So the dimensions of viscosity are m raised to 1, m raised to -1, t raised to -1. Now these are the dimensions of viscosity. Now this is about the theory of viscosity. In our syllabus, there is one experiment, viscosity of a given liquid by Stokes method. What that experiment is? Now we will discuss that experiment. That experiment is, the title of the experiment is viscosity of liquid by Stokes method. That is the title. The title. Viscosity of liquid by Stokes method. Viscosity of liquid by Stokes method. So this is the title of the experiment. Now aim means what we have to determine, what we have to calculate from that experiment. Our aim is to determine viscosity of a given liquid by Stokes method. Now this is the aim of the experiment. Our aim is to determine viscosity of a given liquid by the Stokes method. Then apparatus. Apparatus means the apparatus which is required for performing the experiment. What things are required for that experiment? The experiment requires one glass tube about 1 meter in length. Then it requires viscous liquid. Viscous liquid, it may be glycerin or paraffin. We can use viscous liquid. Then we need steel balls of different diameters, small steel balls of different diameters. We need it. Again, we need micrometer screw gauge. Micrometer screw gauge. Micrometer screw gauge. Again, we require meter scale. Measure the distance. We need meter scale. Again, we need a stop watch. Now these things are required for the experiment. See. Now these are the basic requirements of our experiment. Stokes method. We need one glass tube about 1 meter in length. Viscous liquid whose viscosity is to be determined. That viscous liquid we require. We require steel balls, small steel balls of different diameters. Micrometer screw gauge to determine the diameter of that ball, and from that diameter we can calculate radius. Meter scale, which is used to measure the length of distance. Stopwatch, that is the required to measure the time, which is required for the motion of the steel ball from particular height to a given marked height. So this is the apparatus. Now I will draw the diagram. In this diagram, we'll take a glass tube. This is a glass tube. And this glass tube is supported by this rigid support. This is a rigid support. And we are using this funnel to grab the steel balls. And this glass tube is filled with liquid. It is filled with liquid. Means it is a glass tube. Glass tube. This is liquid. Liquid whose viscosity is to be determined. Now this is the funnel which is used to grab the steel balls. Steel balls. Then first we take this glass tube, mount it vertical about a rigid support, and fill that glass tube with viscous liquid by glycerin or paraffin. Then mark 2 points, say A and B. These are the two marking points on the glass tube. Glass tube. Okay. Now this is the experiment. And we take steel balls of different diameters. That is small, just a big, again like this. The steel balls of different diameters. We will take the steel balls of different diameters. So this is the experimental setup. Experimental setup. The experimental setup which consists of a glass tube of length about 1 meter. Then that glass tube is mounted vertical and it is filled with a viscous liquid, that is maybe glycerin or paraffin, and the 2 points are marked on the glass tube, A and B. These are the 2 points which are marked on the glass tube. Then we will take the small steel balls of different diameters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. We can take small steel balls and a stopwatch which is in our hand. Now, experimental procedure. In actual experiment, what we have to do? We have to measure the time which is required to move a steel ball from A to B. So first we will make the observations. First we have to make the observations. First observation, this distance, measure this distance AB and length AB. Centimeter. Length AB. Then we'll take the density of steel ball, that is given, and density of given liquid, density of given liquid. Here density of steel balls, density of steel ball will take a D, density gram per centimeter cube, and density of liquid, that is rho, gram per centimeter cube. Now this is the observations. We have to measure the density of the liquid is given to you. It is not necessary to measure the density. Density is given to you. Density of steel ball, it is also given to you. 7.8 gram per cc for the steel. And for this density of liquid, it is glycerin. The density of the glycerin is also given to you. So you have to measure only length AB. Length AB. Now these are the observations. Then actual experiment. Observation table. Observation table. In the observation table, we will make the columns. The first column is serial number, observation number. Second column is the radius of steel ball. It is R centimeter. Then time. Time required for the ball to move from A to B. Each second. Then we calculate velocity. Velocity is distance upon time. So the observation table is made like this. We'll take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different observations of the balls having different radii. We'll take the different steel balls of different radii. So we'll take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 observations. And these balls of different radii. Then, in actual experiment, we'll take a small steel ball, and this steel ball is dropped through this funnel. And then this steel ball, will move slowly through this liquid. It will reach the bottom. Now, when we drop that steel ball from this funnel, and when it enters into the liquid, the motion of that steel ball will go slow, will slow down. So when it reaches this point A, you start your stopwatch. And when that ball reaches this point B, close the stopwatch. Then you will find that what amount of time is required, what time is taken. We can determine the amount of that time required for the ball to move from A to B. That time is noted. And that time is written here. Means if the diameter is 0.3 centimeter, time required is say 10 seconds. This is for example 10 seconds. Then we will take another ball 0.4 centimeter. Then it has 5, 15, 0.5, or say 20, 0.6, or 25, 0.8, 30 seconds. Say for example, these are the, for example, we have taken these types. These are not the actual reading, but for example, we have taken here. And from these we can calculate the velocity. Distance upon time. Distance is measured here. Distance is measured. So from that we can calculate the velocity. Velocity for the first ball, second ball, third ball, the fifth. All these velocities are calculated. And from these velocities, we have an equation for the coefficient of viscosity. That equation is given by eta equal to 2 upon 9 r square. This is 9, 2 by 9. 2 by 9 r square. It is d minus rho upon this velocity, terminal velocity, into g. Now in this equation, r, which is the radius of a given steel ball, which we can determine by using a micrometer screw gauge. D is the density of steel balls, which is given to you. Density is given. Rho is the density of the liquid. That density is also given. P is the terminal velocity. That is the velocity of ball. And C is the acceleration due to gravity, which is constant. We can take here C is equal to 980 centimeter per second square. Means if we measure the radius of steel ball, and if we measure the terminal velocity, if these two things are measured, then we can calculate coefficient of viscosity. Now we are taking different observations. We are taking steel balls of different radii. So their terminal velocity will be different. Terminal velocity will be different. As the radius of the steel ball increases, then that ball will move fast. Ball will move fast. So it will take minimum time. Means when that ball is moving from A to B, this is the distance which is fixed. If we take a small ball, it will take more time, say 0.5 centimeters, and it takes 10 seconds. 10 seconds. If we increase its radius 0.6, if we increase the radius, the time required will be less. Time required will be less because it will move fast. So time required will be less. As the radius increases, the time required will decrease. So time decreases. As here in this observation, we have taken 0.5, that is 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6. If these are the radius, and if we calculate the time required for this, say 10 seconds. Then for 0.3, it will be less. It will be about 9. For 0.4, it will be again less. For this will be less. For this will be less. Means as the radius increases, the time required decreases. Time required decreases. And this velocity for the distance upon time. Distance upon time. Distance is constant. And shear velocity. Distance is constant. Time changes. For the first, it is 10. Time is 10. For second, it is 9. Means as the time decreases, this quantity decreases, time decreases, this velocity increases. Velocity increases. As the velocity increases, means we can plot a graph of this r square against velocity. We can plot a graph of r square against velocity, and from that graph, we can determine its slope. And by using that slope, we can find its coefficient of viscosity. Means by using the value of r square, r is the radius. If we take r square, and here terminal velocity. Terminal velocity. As the radius increases, velocity also increases. We will get a graph like this. Then from this graph, if this is y, we can obtain its slope. Y upon x. We can obtain the slope of the graph. And use that slope in this equation 2 upon 9 g minus rho into g into slope. So by using the slope, we can determine the value of coefficient of viscosity of a given liquid. So in this experiment, we have to determine the coefficient of viscosity of a given liquid by using Stokes method. So this is only experimental work, but actual experiment, when you will come to the college at that time, we'll show you or we'll give the demonstration of that experiment. We are having a glass tube. That glass tube is filled with viscous liquid, and then we are using steel balls of different radii. We measure time. All these things which we can do in the laboratory. But in online practical work, we will only discuss how the experiment is performed. Means we will tell you the theory of the experiment, experimental procedure, but actual experiment which we will perform in the laboratory. Okay, we'll stop here and we'll meet in on the coming Monday.